The hum of the engine, the rhythmic thrumming of tires on the asphalt. My drive down Bray Road was like any other. The Midwestern twilight cast long shadows across the fields on either side, and the occasional farmhouse flickered in the distance, its lights fighting the encroaching darkness. I was on autopilot, lost in my thoughts, the radio serving as a distant companion. Then it happened. A shiver ran down my spine, an unsettling sensation that seemed to come from nowhere. My gaze flicked to the passenger side window, a reflexive response to an unseen presence. But there was nothing there, at least nothing I could see. My heart quickened, and I shook off the unease, chalking it up to fatigue, or perhaps an overactive imagination. As I continued along the desolate stretch of Bray Road, the sensation persisted, a nagging awareness that I was not alone. Glancing nervously at the side mirror, I half expected to see a pair of eyes glinting in the darkness. Instead, the rural landscape remained unchanged, with only the occasional glow of distant farmsteads punctuating the night. An inexplicable tension settled in the air, like the prelude to a storm brewing on the horizon. I adjusted my grip on the steering wheel, trying to shake off the unsettling feeling, but it lingered, a silent companion on this solitary journey. The incident faded from my thoughts as I pulled into my driveway, the familiar surroundings of the home offering solace from the enigmatic unease that had accompanied me down Bray Road. I greeted my brother Jake, who was sprawled on the living room couch with his nose buried in a book. He looked up, a mischievous glint in his eyes. "Hey, bro, you wouldn't believe the stories I've been reading about the Beast of Bray Road. It's like something out of a horror movie." He chuckled. I raised an eyebrow, an involuntary response to the mention of Bray Road. The Beast of Bray Road. What's that? Some kind of local legend? Jake leaned forward, enthusiasm from him. "Yeah, it's this creature, half man, half wolf, that's supposedly been spotted around here. People claim to have seen it on the side of the road lurking in the shadows. Some even say it chases cars. Can you imagine?" Chill traced its way down my spine. "You can't be serious. It's probably just some elaborate prank or local myth to spook newcomers." His eyes widened, a mixture of excitement and conviction. "No joke, man. There have been reports and sightings. I even found this blog where people share their stories. Some say they felt its presence like it was watching them." I laughed, though a lingering unease from my earlier drive remained. "Come on, Jake. You can't believe in this stuff. It's probably just a wild animal or someone's overactive imagination." He shrugged, a smirk playing on his lips. "Maybe, but it's fun to think about, right? Adds a bit of mystery to this quiet town." That night I lay in bed, the images of Jake's stories playing in my mind like a haunting melody. The room was still, and the only sound was the distant hut of an owl. I tried to dismiss the notion of a mythical beast as pure fiction, but the eeriness of the Bray Road encounter lingered, like an unanswered question, echoing in the silence. The following day, curiosity gnawed at me. I couldn't shake the feeling that my unexplained encounter down Bray Road was somehow connected to this local legend. I decided to do a bit of research, just to ease my mind. The internet yielded a trove of information about the Beast of Bray Road. Eyewitness accounts painted a vivid picture, stories of a creature with fur, as dark as the night, eyes that gleamed like embers, and a haunting, almost human, howl that echoed through the woods. Some even claimed to have felt an inexplicable connection with the beast, as if it could sense their very presence. Skeptical but intrigued, I delved deeper into the lore. Some speculated that the creature was a shapeshifter, a guardian spirit of the wilderness. Others dismissed it as mere folklore, a product of overactive imaginations fueled by the isolation of rural life. As evening descended, I found myself drawn back to Bray Road. The sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows that danced in the fading light. I parked my car near the spot where I'd felt that eerie presence the night before, a peculiar mix of apprehension and fascination gripping me. With the engine turned off, I sat in silence, watching and waiting. The air was charged with a quiet anticipation, the rustling of leaves and distant sounds of the night, magnified in the stillness. The moon, a soft glow in the inky sky, cast its light over the desolate road. Minutes turned to hours, and the rural landscape remained tranquil. No mythical creature emerged from the shadows. No otherworldly howl pierced the night. Doubt crept in, and I began to question the validity of the stories that had captured my imagination. Just as I contemplated leaving, a distant rustling caught my attention. My eyes strained to pierce the darkness, and that nagging awareness returned. It was as if the very air vibrated with an unseen energy. I held my breath, my senses on high alert. Suddenly, a figure emerged from the shadows, its form shrouded in darkness. My heart raced, and a chill swept through me. The creature, if that's what it was, moved with an uncanny grace, its silhouette blending with the night. 1,000 thoughts raced through my mind. Was this the legendary beast of Bray Road, or just a trick of the imagination? A play of shadows in the moonlight. The creature seemed to sense my presence, pausing for a moment, its gaze fixed on the car. At that moment, the stories Jake had shared and the folklore I'd read merged with my own experience. The line between reality and myth blurred, and I found myself caught in the crossroads of belief and skepticism. The creature continued its silent journey, disappearing into the darkness as mysteriously as it had appeared. I sat in stunned silence, grappling with the surreal encounter. Had I witnessed the beast of Bray Road, or had my mind woven a tale to fit the legends that surrounded this enigmatic stretch of rural highway? As I drove back home, the night air carried a sense of mystery that clung to me like a phantom. Whether the beast of Bray Road was a creature of myth or a mysterious reality, I couldn't deny the lingering unease that had taken root in the depths of my consciousness. Legends, it seemed, had a way of leaving an indelible mark on those who dared to explore the boundaries between the known and the unknown. High school life was nothing short of a chaotic roller coaster. Between the pressures of exams, teenage drama, and navigating the unpredictable social landscape, I often sought solace in the mundane routines of daily life. Little did I know that the seemingly innocuous events unfolding next door would thrust me into a nightmare beyond the realm of teenage angst. Mrs. Abernathy, our elderly neighbor, lived in a quaint house that seemed frozen in time. Her garden, a tangle of wildflowers and herbs, whispered secrets of ancient wisdom. She was known for her eccentricities, the sort of local legend that everyone had heard about, but few dared to approach. I, however, was blissfully ignorant of the consequences my actions would unleash when I inadvertently angered her one fateful afternoon. It started innocently enough. A stray baseball crashed through her window, a mishap during a spirited game with my friends. As I approached her doorstep to apologize, the air thickened with tension. Mrs. Abernathy, her piercing eyes hidden behind thick spectacles, glared at me with an intensity that sent a shiver down my spine. "Young man, your recklessness knows no bounds," she scolded, her voice a low, ominous murmur. "For disturbing the sanctity of my abode, A curse shall befall you. May the beast within be unleashed, and may you find no refuge from the beast that dwells within." I dismissed her words as the ramblings of an irate old woman, a quirky response to a broken window. Little did I realize the gravity of her words, the ancient magic she had invoked with a mere utterance. That night, under the watchful glow of a full moon, the curse began to take hold. The first transformation was a torment beyond description. Bones shifted and muscles contorted as an agonizing howl escaped my lips. The pain was visceral, a raw symphony of agony that echoed through the stillness of the night. I clutched at my changing form, unable to comprehend the monstrous reality unfolding before me. Days turned into nights, and the curse persisted. Each full moon brought a nightmarish metamorphosis, a descent into a primal realm that defied reason. In the quiet moments between transformations, I scoured ancient texts and obscure websites, desperate for any hint of a cure. But the curse seemed to elude all conventional wisdom, a dark magic that reveled in its insidious grip. The horror of my condition reached its peak when the insatiable hunger set in. A hunger, not for food, but for the scent of the night, the thrill of the chase. The mere thought of the moon's ascent sent tremors through my body, a macabre anticipation of the transformation that awaited. Desperation drove me to confide in my closest friends, hoping that together we could unravel the mysteries of Mrs. Abernathy's curse. I gathered them in the dimly lit basement, where the glow of a flickering candle cast shadows on our worried faces. "Guys, I know this is going to sound insane, but you have to believe me. Mrs. Abernathy cursed me, and I turn into a werewolf every full moon," I stammered, the weight of my revelation hanging heavily in the air. Laughter erupted, a cacophony of disbelief that cut through my desperate pleas. "Come on, man, this is some next-level storytelling." Alex chuckled, exchanging amused glances with the others. "I'm serious. You have to help me. I can't control it, and I'm terrified of what I might do," I implored, desperation etched across my face. The room fell into an uncomfortable silence, broken only by the nervous shifting of feet. "Look, Jake, we get it. Stress can mess with your head, but this is a bit much," Sarah remarked, her eyes reflecting a mix of concern and skepticism. Defeated, I retreated into the shadows of my secret. The trust I had hoped to find among friends shattered like fragments of Mrs. Abernathy's broken window. As the next full moon approached, I grappled with the realization that my struggle was one I would face alone. The night of the transformation arrived like a specter, casting its ominous glow upon my existence. I retreated to the solitude of the woods, far from prying eyes. As the moon ascended to its zenith, the change began, an excruciating dance with the beast within. In the silent forest, I fought against the impending transformation, clinging to the vestiges of my humanity. But as the moon's ethereal light enveloped me, reason succumbed to the feral instincts clawing at the edges of my consciousness. The forest echoed with a primal howl as the metamorphosis consumed me. The boundary between man and beast shattered. In the aftermath of that night, the woods bore witness to a creature born of ancient curses and unchecked rage. My senses, now sharpened to an unnerving degree, guided me through the moonlit wilderness. The scent of prey lingered in the air, and an insatiable hunger propelled me forward. The morning light brought a cruel awakening, a stark realization of the havoc wrought upon the nocturnal canvas. My hands, now stained with the remnants of the night's hunt, trembled as I grappled with the aftermath of my transformation. The realization that I was no longer in control of my own destiny filled me with a profound sense of despair. The following days blurred into a relentless cycle of horror and futile attempts at redemption. The curse had become an inescapable part of my existence, a dark secret that threatened to consume me entirely. Each full moon brought forth the beast within, a creature devoid of reason or remorse. Haunted by the monstrous reality I had become, I sought sanctuary in the dimly lit basement once more, a futile attempt to rekindle the trust I had lost. I need your help. I can't keep this up. The transformation, it's tearing me apart, I pleaded, my voice strained with the weight of my confession. This time, my friends listened with a sobering gravity. The echoes of laughter were replaced by furrowed brows and uneasy glances. We didn't believe you before, but something's different now, Alex admitted, his gaze betraying a sense of genuine concern. As a united front, we delved into the mysteries surrounding Mrs. Abernathy's curse. Hours turned into days as we combed through ancient tomes and consulted experts in obscure occult practices. The basement became a makeshift headquarters, a haven where we dared to defy the supernatural forces that sought to claim me. In our quest for answers, we uncovered a glimmer of hope, a ritual that held the promise of breaking the curse. With each passing day, we meticulously prepared for the impending full moon, our collective determination, the only shield against the encroaching darkness. The night arrived, tense and charged with an undercurrent of uncertainty. The basement, bathed in the glow of candles and ancient symbols, hastily drawn on the floor, became the battleground for my redemption. As the moon ascended to its zenith, I braced myself for the agonizing transformation that loomed on the horizon. The ritual unfolded like a delicate dance, the incantations echoing in the dimly lit chamber. Each word, laden with ancient magic, reverberated through the basement, a desperate plea for liberation from the curse that bound me. The air crackled with energy, and the room seemed to pulsate with an otherworldly force. As the ritual reached its climax, a surge of power swept through me, a sensation both agonizing and transcendent. The boundaries between man and beast blurred, and I felt the curse unraveling, dissipating like dissipating mist in the morning sun. For a fleeting moment, I stood on the precipice of freedom, the weight of the curse lifted from my shoulders. But as the final incantation echoed through the room, a sudden searing pain tore through me. A force resisting the liberation we sought. The basement shook with an otherworldly presence, and I realized that Mrs. Abernathy's curse was not one to be easily broken. The ritual had pushed against the boundaries of the supernatural, but the old woman's magic proved resilient, a dark force woven into the very fabric of my existence. Desperation and fear clawed at the edges of my consciousness as the realization set in. The curse persisted, the ritual's failure, an indelible mark of my helplessness. In the solemn silence that followed, my friends exchanged somber glances, grappling with the futility of our efforts. As the moon waned in the night sky, I faced an inevitable reckoning. The beast within, unbound by the feeble attempts to break the curse, rose to the surface with a ferocity that surpassed all previous transformations. The basement, once a sanctuary, became a battleground where the struggle for dominance played out in the shadows. My friends, witnesses to the harrowing spectacle, stood frozen in the face of the monstrous reality. The agonized howls that echoed through the chamber marked the unraveling of the fragile hope we had clung to. The werewolf, a creature forged in the crucible of ancient curses, emerged from the shadows, a manifestation of primal fury and unquenchable hunger. As the night unfolded, I surrendered to the beast within, a slave to the curse that defied all attempts at redemption. The basement, once a place of solace and camaraderie, became a haunting reminder of the supernatural forces that bound me. The moon's spectral glow cast a macabre silhouette, a testament to the inescapable horror that now defined my existence. The morning light brought with it a chilling stillness. The basement, devoid of the frenzied struggle that had unfolded hours earlier, stood as a silent witness to the tragedy that had unfolded within its walls. My friends, burdened by the weight of their failure, left with heavy hearts, their footsteps echoing in the emptiness of the aftermath. As the days turned into nights, I roamed the shadows, a creature neither man nor beast. Mrs. Abernathy's curse had woven its tendrils into the very fabric of my being, an inescapable reality that defied the boundaries of reason. In the quiet moments between transformations, I grappled with the remnants of my humanity, a fractured soul torn between the darkness and the flickering ember of hope that refused to be extinguished. The basement, once a haven for desperate rituals, now stood abandoned, a silent testament to the futility of our efforts. The curse endured, and the werewolf within me emerged with each full moon, a relentless force that defied all attempts at control. In the quiet hours of the night, when the moon hung low in the sky, the agonized howls echoed through the darkness, a haunting reminder of the horror that had befallen the boy who dared to anger the old woman next door. In the heart of the Louisiana bayou, where the Spanish moss hung like spectral drapery from ancient cypress trees, there nestled a tight-knit Cajun community. Etienne Lejeune, a man of rugged demeanor, with a tangle of wild dark hair and eyes that mirrored the untamed green of the surrounding wilderness, was a pillar of this insular society. His existence was woven into the fabric of the bayou, where the ebb and flow of life mirrored the ever-changing currents of the waterways. Etienne's family, like many others, lived in harmony with the natural world, relying on the bounty of the bayou for survival. However, fate had a fickle way of testing the resilience of those who called the swampy expanse home. In a year of relentless hardships, when the crops withered under the unforgiving sun, and the once teeming bayou yielded little, Etienne found himself standing at the precipice of despair. It was in this desperate moment that whispers of a mysterious witch reached his ears. Whispers spoke of a being with the power to grant wishes, a figure who dwelled in the deepest recesses of the bayou, where the shadows played tricks on the mind and the air itself carried the weight of ancient secrets. Driven by desperation and a desire to alleviate the suffering of his family, Etienne embarked on a perilous journey into the heart of the swamp. Guided by the cryptic tales passed down through generations, Etienne navigated the labyrinthine waterways, his pirogue cutting through the murky waters like a shadow slipping through the night. The journey led him to a clearing, bathed in an otherworldly glow, where the witch awaited, a haggard figure, cloaked in tattered garments, her eyes gleaming with an enigmatic wisdom that seemed to pierce through the veil of reality. In a voice that echoed with the weight of centuries, the witch offered Etienne a deal. A wish granted in exchange for a promise. Desperation clouded his judgment, and without much thought, Etienne agreed. Little did he know that the wish he made in that murky bayou clearing would set in motion a series of events that would forever alter the course of his life. As the moon waxed and waned, Etienne began to feel a strange and powerful force coursing through his veins. It started as a subtle undercurrent, a whisper in the wind, but soon escalated into a transformative power that gripped him with otherworldly strength. With each passing night, as the moon ascended to its full glory, Etienne's body contorted and reshaped until he stood on all fours, a monstrous amalgamation of man and beast. The Rougarou, the first transformation, brought chaos to the village. The once beloved hunter now prowled the bayou with feral intensity, his eyes flickering with a glimmer of humanity amid the savage instinct that drove him. The village, gripped by fear and confusion, sought to quell the terror that had befallen them, unaware that it was their once heroic neighbor who had become the very source of their nightmares. Haunted by the consequences of his desperate bargain, Etienne sought guidance from Mama Odette, a voodoo priestess known for her profound connection to the supernatural forces that dwelled in the bayou. Mama Odette, with her weathered hands and a gaze that seemed to see beyond the veil of reality, sensed the weight of the curse that bound Etienne. She spoke of a path to redemption, a journey into the heart of the bayou, where the threads of fate could be rewoven. Mama Odette's guidance led Etienne on a quest through the mystical realms of the bayou, where the natural and supernatural coexisted in a delicate dance. His first trial took him to the heart of the ancient cypress forest, a place where the trees stood like silent guardians of forgotten secrets. There, he faced the ghostly guardians, ethereal beings who tested his resolve with riddles and challenges that delved into the depths of his character. The second trial led him to the Swamp of Shadows, a surreal landscape where time seemed to lose its meaning. Amid the flickering glow of mystical fireflies, Etienne confronted illusions that mirrored his deepest fears and regrets. It was a battle not only against external forces, but also against the shadows within himself. The third trial guided him through the Bayou Mirage, a place where reality itself twisted and turned, like the serpentine waterways. There, he encountered the shape-shifting moon serpent, a creature that tested his adaptability and cunning. Only by outsmarting the serpent and proving his ability to navigate the ever-changing tides of fate could Etienne continue on his quest. The final leg of his journey brought him to the Veil of Verite, a mystical barrier that separated the mortal realm from the supernatural. With Mama Odette's guidance, Etienne pierced the veil and confronted the witch, who held his fate in her twisted hands. The witch, draped in shadows and fueled by ancient malice, sought to maintain her grip on the curse that bound Etienne. The confrontation was a battle of magic and willpower, with the bayou itself seeming to hold its breath. Mama Odette channeled the ancient forces to aid Etienne, her incantations blending with the hum of the swamp. The air crackled with energy as the two forces clashed, each determined to claim victory. Etienne, drawing upon the lessons learned throughout his journey, found the strength to resist the temptations and illusions the witch conjured. In a climactic moment, Mama Odette unleashed a powerful voodoo incantation that weakened the witch's grip on the curse. Etienne, with a surge of determination, confronted the witch with a plea for mercy and redemption. It was a battle not only of magic, but of the human spirit. As the final words of the incantation echoed through the bayou, the curse shattered like fragile glass. The moon, witness to the struggle, bathed Etienne in its silvery light as he collapsed to the ground. The weight of the curse finally lifted. The bayou, as if sighing in relief, embraced its hero with a gentle breeze that carried the scent of blooming magnolias. Etienne returned to his village, forever changed by his journey. The tale of his trials and triumphs spread far and wide, becoming a tapestry woven into the rich folklore of the Cajun people. The Rougarou, once a symbol of fear, transformed into a story of redemption, a testament to the indomitable spirit of a man who faced the mystical heart of the bayou and emerged with his humanity intact. The village, once gripped by fear, now celebrated Etienne as a hero who had braved the darkest corners of the bayou to save not only himself but also his community. The once haunting howls of the rougarou now became a distant memory, replaced by the harmonious sounds of life returning to the bayou. Etienne, despite his newfound reputation, remained humble. The lessons learned on his journey were etched into his soul, a reminder of the delicate balance between the natural and supernatural that defined the mystical heart of Louisiana. The bayou, with its secrets and mysteries, continued to thrive, and the Cajun people, inspired by Etienne's tale, lived in harmony with the spirits that called the swampy expanse home. As the seasons cycled through their eternal dance, the legend of Etienne Lejeune persisted, passed down through generations as a cautionary tale and a testament to the enduring power of the human spirit. The bayou, with its shadows and secrets, held onto the echoes of Etienne's journey, a story woven into the very fabric of the mystical landscape that had shaped the destiny of a man and his community